take your medicine, Morai. The doctor is in.
The doctor is in. All right. Welcome to Screams and Streams, the podcast that looks at the best and worst horror movies as rated on Rotten Tomatoes from 1970 onwards. I'm your host, Chad, and with me are my co-hosts,
Sam
and
Mike.
Be sure to check us out on Instagram. Our handle is at ScreamStreamPod. Also check out our website, screamsandstreams.com, for more information about the films that we are looking at. Just a warning, if you don't like spoilers, we recommend that you stop listening now, check out the film, and then rejoin us for our discussion. All right, so today we are doing Manny Cotto's 1992 film, Dr. Giggles. It scored 23% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's get into it. Sam, can you give us our summary?
Yeah, absolutely. A madman who believes he's a doctor comes to the town where his crazy doctor father was killed and soon begins murdering people and becoming infatuated with a teenage girl who has a heart condition.
Well, okay.
Yep.
Now, how do you follow up with that?
I like that he believes he's a doctor.
He believes he's a doctor. Well, his IQ is off the charts, right? Could have been a doctor. That's what the one guy said anyways.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Mike, what are we drinking today for our sinister sip?
The sinister sip today is The Last Laugh from Difford's Guide.
Oh.
Well, it looks really refreshing. I'm excited.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Little cinnamony.
It's the green chartreuse. It's got gin, green chartreuse, maraschino liqueur, lime juice, and sparkling wine. So
I didn't even know maraschino liqueur was a thing.
Yeah. It's hard to find.
Yeah.
Thanks for your request.
Mike does deep dives into these sinister sips. Liquor cabinet just full of this obscure alcohol that gets used once.
I chose this one because I only had to buy one bottle for it, and I got to use the green chartreuse again because that's been sitting untouched for a while.
Yeah, we had that, like half a year ago, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe a year ago.
All right, we'll go into our first impressions. Mike, you want to hit us up with your first impression of this film first?
Yeah, this is one of those ones that I'd heard about a lot, but did not watch until this viewing. And oh my God, it was hard to get through. Yeah, I don't even know where to go from there. I did not enjoy it. Like, I'm thinking of Halloween 5 and how bad that was. This is like subpar of that, like because it has the same feel and the same sort of color to it, I guess. I don't know, the same.
Oh yeah, okay.
Teenager and a killer. Yeah, I did not like it. I had to stop it, I think, twice and just walk away and take a break.
I think there were a lot of films in that 90s, 92, 3, 4, that whole decade that really had this kind of look to it. Not necessarily, were as crazy as this film, but had that kind of look to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, that was pretty much the end of my first impressions. I didn't enjoy it. It was hard to get through. Glad it ended when it did.
All right, Sam, do you want to give us your first impression of this film?
Ditto, Mike. It was really rough to get through. It took me a couple days. I don't know, for a film like this, you like really have to be in the mood to go along with. I was not this past week. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was dumb. It took me 3 times to get through 3 separate days to get through it. And yeah, I still didn't like it. Was very glad when it was over. Had some things that I kind of liked, but overall it was just eye rolling the entire time. I hated it.
All right. My first impression, I liked it. I got into this film. It was the first one I watched. I must have been in a really good mood when I watched it. It is everything you say. It is cheesy. It is dumb. It is silly. There is no lead up to this story whatsoever. It just jumps right into him dissecting this doctor on the table. How did this all happen? Nobody knows. Within the first 5 minutes, he's killed 3 people and is out the gate.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Stole their ID card. Bleep. Out he goes.
Released all the patients.
All the patients. Yeah. Anyways, I just thought it was a cheesy horror film, but I thought it was fun. So I didn't mind it. Obviously, as much as you both hated it, I thought it was okay. So now we're going to go into our tropes hall of shame. Sam, you want to kick us with a couple of your tropes that you found in this film?
Yeah, the escaped mental patient.
Oh, yeah.
That's an easy one.
Yep.
I also said this is not just for horror movies, but overall, women just eating a gallon of ice cream every time they're upset about anything. So that was another one of mine.
My note on that was a whole gallon, gross.
But also that it was
it though?
It's delicious. My comment about it was the freezer's not cold enough. That came out like soft serve, and it was like liquidy. I was like, you need to up that setting.
It's a dorm room freezer right there.
Yeah, it was brutal.
All right. I'm going to give a couple of mine now. I also had the insane asylum, of course. I had a creepy old house. He goes back to the town that he's from, and he just goes into the house. Nobody obviously has picked up that house yet.
It was pretty creepy and weird too, right?
Yeah.
So.
And I also had passed away mom problems with the now stepmom, right?
Right.
Yeah, I
The
had that one too.
daughter and stuff. So those were my first couple. Mike, what did you have?
One of my first ones is the townspeople kill and create a monster. So like Elm Street, it was they burned Freddy alive and then Freddy came back. But this one, I was shocked when they're like, 7 townspeople killed his father or whatever. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And they said it so casually, like, as we do.
Yeah.
More high tradition, I guess. And then the other one I had was just the cried wolf, where the boyfriend, I think, pretends to be injured twice. And then when he's actually injured, it's like, oh, come on, quit fooling.
Yeah, I had that. Sam?
The black couple died first, unfortunately.
Yep.
I also had not believing the teenager who knows what's going on.
Right.
They're like, oh, yeah, you're fine. And she's like, no, a doctor is trying to murder me. And they're like, okay, that's cute.
Yeah.
I had teenagers need to go to the rundown scary house, right? It's because they always bet them.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I bet you can't spend the night there. And so they go in there. And then I also had to couple on with that, the sex crazed teens. Like they're just all over each other all the time. Not one couple was just nonstop.
Yeah. On a classroom floor.
Yes.
But also, okay, so I had questions. So I also had that trope, but I put in the over-sexualization of band geeks.
Yeah.
Like that we see in movies.
I even wrote down, what is the orgy scene in the band room?
Yes.
Like, why are they walking through and there's all these kids just making out in the band
on the
room?
floor, like just lying there.
On those uncomfortable steps.
Yeah.
But I was like, is this the carnival? Like what room
That's
is
what I
this
didn't get
in?
either. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, we were just in the carnival grounds. Now we are in a school. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was really confusing to me as a whole. My quote, I just had like the over-sexualization, and then I in quotes, I said this one time at band camp. That's all I could think of during that scene. It was too much.
Okay. Mike, what were some others that you had?
another one I had was just the animal senses evil when the woman's walking her dog.
Yep.
And then I liked this one because, I mean, it is a trope, but we don't see it that often. But the Hall of Mirrors or Glass Labyrinth.
Oh,
yeah.
The Funhouse. I always enjoy those in movies.
Yeah. Sam, did you have any others?
I had the carnival. I feel like carnivals are a kind of a trope for horror movies as well. I had the antagonist has like super strength and won't die.
Yeah.
Oh,
He just would not die. It's like, come on. Like he got like the house exploded and he's still kicking. I was like, come on.
Just to back with that, I had he's blown up, electrocuted, stabbed, not to mention shot, performed surgery on himself, and was still out to get people. So yeah, I had that trope as well. Yeah. Killer won't be killed. I had using the dog as a jump scare.
Oh, yeah.
As they're going through the window there, and he just hops up and starts barking. That's all I have. Mike, did you have any others?
The last one I had was just steam in the basement.
Oh,
And like aggressive steam, like,
yeah.
like, not just in the background.
There was a ton of it. Yeah.
Venting aggressively.
It's like Homer Simpson when he vents the stupid gas and all the corn just. Oh no! All right, we're gonna move into one-liners, and Mike, why don't you kick us off with what one-liners you thought stood out in this film?
My first one was at the party, and the guy's like, "Way to chug, babe." And then another line I had was, That crazy broad sees rapists in her hemorrhoid cream.
Oh my gosh.
When they're talking about the neighbor.
Okay, I'm so glad that you said that. I had a note on hemorrhoid cream quotation, and I had look up later. Rapist / hemorrhoid cream. And I looked it up online. I could not find the quote again. I did not want to go through the movie again to find it. So I'm really glad you had it.
Yeah, I think it's when she's calling the cops to say like something is going on. Yeah, and that's the response from like the police officer.
Oh my Lord. Sam, what did you have?
So this film has so many one-liners that are so cheesy. They became like the doctor's in or like whatever.
It's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh my God. It's it's too much. It's just eye roll every single time. You're like, every time he opens his mouth, it's going to be and then it's going to be the fucking worst.
Doctor pun, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so stupid. I was so annoyed. But there was one line I liked that he did. He was like, time to do what doctors do best. And then he pulled out a golf club.
I did like that one.
I like that one. But everything else, it was just eye roll cringe.
Almost trope level where
it was
every
too
murder
much.
has to be followed
Every
with
single one, every death had some type of
it had
pun.
Like laughter is the best medicine. I also had, I'm not exactly sure where this came from, and maybe you guys can remind me. No coffee, no tea, no alcohol, no fun.
Was that? Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. That's when she gets her heart monitor.
Yeah, is that what the doctor said? She said? Or?
Oh, okay. So, sorry. I don't think he said no fun. I put that in.
No fun, sad
So
face.
it was like no coffee, no tea, no alcohol. And I just said, no fun. I had another one that was, it's another doctor one. It's, this town murdered you. It's sick and it must be cured.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I kind of liked it. Okay, Mike, did you have any others?
Yeah, my last one is also a doctor pun where he's like, if you think that's bad, wait till you see my bill.
Oh my God.
It's a getter.
It's not. They all suck.
Sam, did you have any others?
No.
I had to write one down because there was 40 of them in the movie. So
there were
40
so
plus.
many.
It was ridiculous.
So many of them. And with that, we're going to go into what doesn't hold up. I'm going to start this one. My first one doesn't hold up was handing out condoms in the gym class. I don't think they do that anymore.
No.
Just a free for all.
Just like, there you go.
Have a good weekend.
Now don't use it. Yeah.
Have fun in the band room.
Yeah, exactly. And my other one was the dad's crying is just horrible. And then when it turns to laughing, like he's he's not a great actor. So he's like, ooh, hoo, hoo, like his wife just died. And then it turns into a laugh. And I was
so
like,
weird.
Oh my gosh. It didn't sound creepy and it didn't sound scary. It just sounded weird and didn't really match. So yeah.
Well, and then the kid started. Also,
and then the kid was just a horrible actor.
So bad.
Just
so bad.
Awful. His laugh wasn't genuine at all.
No.
It's like the director's just laugh kid.
Yeah.
So
brutal.
And that was bad. Mike, why don't you give us your doesn't hold up?
Yeah, this was another movie where I think I just got exhausted by everything. So I only wrote down one. So
just fatigued about how shitty it was.
And so my first one is actually right out of the gate. And then the whole movie doesn't hold up. But the CGI blood and organs at the beginning.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
With the blood cells.
Yeah.
I have that
Such
too.
an early 90s, like, look what we can do with computer animation.
I just thought they were funny. I thought it was funny.
And at one point, they're all in a line, like, congaing through
Yeah.
the electrical. Like,
it was so bad. I have that. That's my first one.
Oh, man. So, Sam, that was your first one. What's another couple you had?
I just didn't understand why the main girl would not tell her boyfriend she has a heart condition and can't drink alcohol.
yeah.
Like they're like pressuring her to drink and like she's sad about it, obviously.
Yeah.
But like,
and then he's the most understanding guy ever.
oh my God.
He's a douche,
I was like, if this boy comes back after cheating on her, I was like, hell no. And then I was like, fuck that guy. And I was like, get away from him.
Fuck that guy.
Move on. You're too good for him. And I have a note here. Why is the cheating boyfriend there? Go away. And then I have boo. Just go home. That was another whole episode.
Why is the cheating boyfriend go home? Oh, that's awesome. I had the electrical effect on Dr. Giggles in the death scene.
So bad.
Looked really cheesy and didn't work. Then I also had answering machines. Just don't hold up anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even know if people use, I still have voicemail, but I'd say I maybe get 2. Like most people are texting and communicating through other ways now.
And now you can read them, right? And so that's all I do. I'm like, this is the best thing ever.
I don't need to listen to people.
I don't have to listen to your voice. That's good.
So yeah, those were another couple that I had. Sam, did you have any?
I said I hated the death by thermometer scene.
Oh,
I hated that scene. I also hated the Band-Aid suffocation scene.
I have that one later.
Oh, sorry. That one. I was like, where the fuck did you get that Band-Aid?
That is so big.
It's humongous. And I was like,
I wrote the massive Band-Aid. Why would he even have that?
what is it for? And like no Band-Aid can hold someone up against a mirror. Like just pull it off. Like, oh my God. I was so mad. I was like, shut up.
So good.
Stop.
So good. I love that. Yeah.
The detail on it was impressive. Like the little cotton sticking out the top. Like it was well made.
Because
well
it was gigantic.
Designed.
They could put it in a
huge Band-Aid.
It was humongous.
I just could not believe it. Like when he pulled it out of the like bag, I was like, what the fuck is that?
It's like a blanket. It's like a hand towel.
Yeah.
So I had that. And then I also question anytime someone gets scissors shoved into the back, I don't think it would do much damage. Like a pair of scissors, like it's going to hit
into
a bone.
your shoulder?
It's going to hit a bone. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been stabbed with scissors
puncture
in
a
the back.
lung. It hurts a bit. I'm guessing. Well,
but it wouldn't even go that far. Like that barely touched.
They're pretty small.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I didn't like that either. And then
they use that a lot. That's almost a trope too.
Yes.
Like a lot of people get stabbed with scissors.
Yeah. Or like surgical tools as a whole in the back, right?
Yeah.
And then my last thing that I didn't like a lot of things, but the last thing I put for this category was the cop / detective having having the bottle of booze in the work locker and not touching it. And I thought that was weird. Like not only just having
for
booze
20 years. Yeah.
Not only having booze in your locker, but just being like, this is the bottle, and like bringing someone to the back room and be like, this is the bottle.
Well, my other question about that was the timeline of that cop didn't really seem to hold up for me because he seemed really, really young to be a cop in the first place. And then he gets in there and he's just boozing it up. Like he's drinking heavily on the job, and he's supposed to be watching where this murder all happened.
Yeah.
Then they're like 20 years later. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
The age didn't match up. The timeline just didn't match up for me. So.
It was super bizarre.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to move into our most gratuitous scene. And let's go, Mike. What was most gratuitous for you?
The first one I had was the Band-Aid. It's size. It's
Sorry.
ridiculous. No, it's fine. And then the giggling.
Yeah.
Like, I get he's called Dr. Giggles, so he has to giggle, but holy shit.
Yeah, I had that in ear splitting.
It was for everything. Like it was for killing. It was when he felt pain. It was for like no matter what happened, he was just laughing. Yeah. I thought it was supposed to be kind of scary, I guess, if you hear it around the corner, like in the fun house, you hear him kind of giggling and stuff. It's supposed to, but by that time they've used it so much that it's not really as effective, I don't think.
But nobody knows he's Dr. Giggles. So if you didn't know that that's his thing, hearing the giggles wouldn't be like, ooh, it's spooky, it's him.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is that noise?
Laughing. This is not a comedic moment. Sam, what did you have for most gratuitous?
The amount of one-liners. I'm going to say it again.
It's too much.
Too many. And then I also had the only scene that I thought was kind of gross was the stomach sucking machine with the ice cream. And then I thought that was kind of gross watching that happen. So
yeah. I had a couple. Mine wasn't necessarily the gore or the laughing or anything. It was the camera work. There were a lot of weird angles in this film. Lots of zooms, lots of Dutch angles, lots of awkward high angle, low angle shots that were just kind of all over the place. And they spliced them together. So it just kind of, I don't know, it was a weird look to the film.
Yeah. And I had a hard time with like my sense of space where everything was in relation to each other. Like the fairground to the school, or the creepy house that seemed to be in the middle of the woods, but was also right next door to a suburban street.
You were able to access that house everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't know the layout of the town. It just didn't make sense.
No.
Yeah.
But also for me, the way they shot it. And I also thought that the graffiti that was around his house and stuff was just so cheesily done.
Yep.
It just looked so fake that they just got a bunch of people to spray paint stuff that tried to look.
I think there's even like a Mark and Julie were here kind of thing. Like
yeah. It just took me out of the moments. It's like that graffiti looks horrible.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to terrifying or titillating. I'll kick this one off. I found nothing terrifying or titillating about this film. It wasn't terrifying to me, although I did enjoy it. I didn't think anything was scary. It was just kind of a gore fest where this guy's walking around killing and saying cheesy lines.
Yeah.
That's all it was. There was no real story to it, and everything with the teens was weird. So I didn't find it terrifying or titillating. Sam, what did you have?
I just had the name of the makeout spot being Breeders' Hill. Yeah. That was my comment. I was like, oh, okay. So it's very, everyone knows what's happening
Hits
there.
you over the head.
That's where they take the gym class
because that's what high school
condoms.
students want.
Breeding. Breeding. And then we already mentioned it, but just the band people dry humping around on the floor and the girl giving head to the saxophone.
The saxophone. I forgot the saxophone.
Yeah, it was too much. And it was so long, not the saxophone, the scene lasted forever. And then I was like, ew, on the classroom floor is foul. That's so gross. And then I was like, what is this band sex room at a carnival? It's just, I have so many questions about that one scene.
So gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, did you have one?
Yeah, mine is the line, "You are king," screamed in bliss as the daughter comes home. It's not titillating for me, but the loud parental sex noises.
The stepmom. Yeah, when he's just going to town on her.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
You are king. The poor girl.
Oh my God.
It was just so aggressively loud.
Also, okay, no, I'm not going to comment on other people's, what they say in the bedroom.
Well, it's funny because it comes up in American Beauty. That's the same thing.
That's right.
But he's the king of realty, and so she screams that he's the king.
You're the king.
Makes a bit more sense than that guy.
Fuck me, your majesty.
We could also say that weird scene with the boy's playing video games downstairs, and then he says brain dead, but upstairs the couple was about to hook up.
Yeah.
Which it's so stupid because you could tell that's a huge man who's under the bed sheet. If you came into the and then he goes in and then
he's under there.
Yeah, he's under there and it's just he's smiling in the sheets. I guess you can kind of say something. And then he's like, I hope you brought protection.
Yeah.
But.
That was my laugh out loud moment.
Oh, sorry. I'm stealing everything today.
Okay, we're going to go to what stood the test of time for us. Mike, what stood the test of time for you?
Yeah, despite not liking the film, there were a couple of things. The CGI was bad at the beginning, but I did enjoy the transition from the organs through the surgical incision into the film. I thought that was kind of cool and an interesting way to go into it. And then I really liked the cops playing the parties over the loudspeaker and clearing out Breeders' Hill.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, instead of just being like, oh, you kids go home. He had a sense of humor. It was a fun way of doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
For me, what stood the test of time, and I know Sam hated all the one-liners. I liked them. I thought they were just cheesy enough that, I rolled, but I was like, you're going to do a doctor horror film? You got to have something like that.
One or two. You don't need 50 plus.
They did use them excessively, I will say that. But I liked a lot of them. Also, I thought the blood in most of the scenes was well done. The gore effects and things I thought were good. I loved the first one where he should have kept his hands to himself.
Oh, that was so good, yeah. I did like that. The jazz hands with the severed
he's just shaking them as he just silliness.
Chad was in a silly, goofy mood.
Sam, what did you think stood the test of time?
I said the gore was fine, so that was a good part of it. And then I was like, I said, I typed this out. I guess if I had to say something for this category, the kills were unique and there were lots of them. So I said that was good. They had the women getting pumped and being disemboweled, sawing off bones, castration with a scalpel, the thermometer. There's lots of different ways people died. So I was like, that's kind of creative.
Yep.
I agree. Yeah, the kills were unique. At least it wasn't just a knife the whole way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't get a lot of we're going to see the arm raise up and see the implement of destruction, and then as it drives down, there wasn't a lot of panning away and seeing blood spurt that we usually see in these kind of films. It was actually you saw him use the tool.
Yeah.
So it,
Like the giant
interesting
Band-Aid that he
the giant Band-Aid.
You whip that out.
The
Oh, what's he going to do with that?
thermometer. The giant tongue depressor. That
Oh,
he did.
that was so good. Yeah.
That he used. All right, now we're going to go into our laugh out loud moments. I'm going to start this one. And we mentioned this, that we thought it was weird and very long. But because it was weird and very long, I started to laugh with the playing of the saxophone.
Oh.
I thought, I was just like, what is going on? So I did laugh out loud for that. And I also laughed at checks her nose out and then stabs her. That kill scene I got a chuckle out of. And then Sam, did you have any for laugh out loud?
I just had a comment that I said I was too annoyed to laugh.
So this one is actually a 0.
Yes, I just wanted to say that.
Mike, did you have anything?
Mine was the one that Sam brought up, but it's the I hope you have protection giggle in bed. I mean, yeah, you know what's coming because it's that slow pan across the bed as he lifts the sheet. But I was just like, made me laugh. Like, I can imagine, like, I'm going to see my hot girlfriend and there's this old man.
Just his face beaming at you.
Yeah. All right, our next one, we're going to go into eerie to ear splitting. Sam, what did you have for eerie to ear splitting on this?
The laugh obviously is too much.
Yeah.
And then I also said it kind of reminded me of that comedian Jimmy Carr. Like, it was just like that became the thing. And I was like, oh, it's too much. And
I love how she says that comedian, and so we both go into it.
It was great. Thank you. And now our listeners don't have to Google it. And then I said there was the cheesy music when she wakes up at the very end.
Yes.
But then the dad's like, hey, sport. Such a weird, just a weird scene.
Wrong vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My eerie to ear splitting was the ending music. I said is so bad, it's ear splitting. I also had at the beginning, the opening music is more like an action film than a horror film.
That's what I had. I said it's like straight out of a James Bond film.
Yeah, it didn't really give you the sense of horror. It was like do, 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 do. Yeah, I was like, what is going on? So yeah, those were mine. Mike, what did you have?
So I had the opening music, and then my other one I had was just the wet kissing, especially during the sax scene. Like it was just all the wet mouth noises.
Yeah, there's a lot of wet mouth there.
Yeah.
Not turn this into an ASMR podcast.
Please don't.
No one needs that.
All right, now we're going into the what the fuck moment. Mike, what did you have for what the fuck?
I just didn't understand why she threw her heart monitor into the fish tank. Like, she's like, I can't have fun. And then she throws it into the fish tank. Like, why? You've been responsible and following the guidelines of the doctor. You walked away from temptation. And then I'll just
Is that right after her boyfriend cheated on her?
Yeah.
Loser boyfriend.
That's why.
Because she goes and drinks the wine.
Because I can't have fun, so I'm just going to do this, although I'm going to die.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Yep.
Restrictions on life suck.
Yeah.
It's tough to be a teenager.
Yeah.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Suck it up. It's your heart.
Have you tried the non-alcoholic options? That taste just as good, people say.
They don't.
When they lie. All right, so I'm going to ask Sam, what was your what the fuck moment?
The kid being inside of the mom, like,
Yes.
and then
yeah.
bursting out.
Yes.
I was like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
And then also on top of that, why the cop didn't say anything to anyone? Like, he's hiding and his mom gets reborn, I guess. Like,
Ugh.
he wouldn't fit in there. There's no way. He's like a 9-year-old or 10-year-old kid.
He's huge. Yeah.
He's fucking huge.
Yeah.
And he just bursts out like...
Well, and what is the timeline of the mother's death?
To get into the autopsy
dad,
room?
to the dad sending her to the autopsy room, to sewing the son into there.
Yep.
Like this all would have had to happen within the day, within a couple hours.
That kid would have had to have a snorkel.
Yeah. there's
Yeah,
just
he would have
no way
died.
I could- Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And the fact that, I didn't understand
It
any
did
of
look
the-
pretty cool when he is like ripping through her belly and then he pulls his head out and he's all covered in blood.
And then he ruined it with his like face and his
then
terrible acting.
And then he had a
Ruined it with his face.
His face.
No.
That's the best insult ever. This was a great thing until you ruined it with his face.
Ruined it with your
He
face.
did. It was-
But I will agree, his acting, his smile when he came out of the belly, and then his like laugh was just not scary at all.
No.
So it was just kind of ruined that scene.
Well, I don't really understand why they're hiding the kid in there. It's because they were worried that he was going to go to an orphanage,
I don't
which
know.
he did anyway.
Did he go to an orphanage or did he? We're not clear on what happens to the boy afterwards. Like he gets sent away, I guess, but does he go directly to the insane asylum?
Well, the cop said that he never saw him again after that. So he just ran away.
And then ends up in an institution later.
Yeah.
I want to see the movie. Like, I don't really, but I kind of do. I want to see the movie of that, like that event with the actual doctor.
Right.
And then I want to see him like fully escaping the asylum. Like,
right.
And also, why doesn't anyone go back to his hometown? Why is there no like red alert on the news that there's like
where's the Donald Pleasance yelling, he's evil. You're evil.
This is the one movie that doesn't
He's
have
coming
like
home to roost.
This one doesn't have the weird old psychic. Like, like it's missing that trope.
It is missing the tropes.
And
of
there's
that.
no like the police aren't like, oh yeah, that's that guy's house. There's no like, oh maybe he's going back there. I guess they wouldn't have known though. In the asylum because he ran away, I guess. But
wow, there's a lot of holes in this film that they don't really fill up. Like we don't even know who the psychiatrist was that's working with him, why he's cut up this person, how that happened.
Yeah.
Like they try to fill it in as the story goes.
Yeah.
And it just becomes confusing and it leaves a lot of gaping holes that just can't be filled because they want to make it a tight, hour and a half?
Hour 35.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
And they didn't build it. Yeah. Like, did you want to see more of that?
I don't.
Yeah.
No. I don't want to see any more.
I want to see 1 hour like The Exorcist, really establish the family.
That's right. That beginning. Yeah, for sure. All right. So my what the fuck moment was the green goo that he injects that guy with because he injects it with the daughter, which looks like the same goo. He injects the black guy and he basically explodes. He throws up all his insides. And then he injects the daughter who's going to go into the heart surgery, but she just goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is. So
the mysterious
I was like, what the fuck is this stuff that he's, and the syringe that he used.
So massive.
That's a trope as well. Like people using these massive syringes. Okay. Back it up moments. I have none, Mike.
I have 0.
I also have 0.
So nobody backed this up. No. So, all right, no problem. Moving on to hiding in the shadows, questions about this film. Mike, what did you have hiding in the shadows?
My only question was, with a fairground full of people, why does she run into the woods? Like she runs out of the Hall of Mirrors and there's a fairground right there. And she's like, nope, I'm going to like.
Oh, she also falls.
Oh, she does. Yeah.
That I have
fall while running. There's the trope.
Yeah.
I had a comment on that because it was hilarious.
It's like Phoebe running through Central Park quality running.
That's right.
And then she tumbles down the hill. It's so bad.
Sam, what did you have hiding in the shadows?
I had, well, first, like why there was no search for this escaped murderer from the insane asylum is crazy. But then my other one was, why is the house so big? Like in the basement or like wherever he's operating his doctor's office.
Yeah.
There's like multiple exam rooms, a huge waiting area, like a reception, and then surgical rooms.
Yeah,
like
I had a big question about, and all in pristine condition,
Yes.
other than the odd cobweb over top of it.
Odd. There's smattering of them.
Yeah.
I guess that's my back it up because I was like, I wasn't distracted. I was like, I must have missed something. Like, how are we suddenly in a doctor's office? Like, no, the basement of the house.
Yeah.
It was this full waiting room. Yeah.
Yeah, it was huge.
I had one, which was, why would you want your girlfriend to wear your mom's lingerie?
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, when he's like, ever since my mom got the Victoria's Secret catalog, I've been looking forward to this. Like,
So he brings his mom's underwear for his girlfriend to wear so that they can get it. I don't
Teenage
know.
boys, man.
There's problems. There's
Teenage
problems. I also had this question about why is the chief of police smelling the shit out of this rice? Like there was something. He just like takes this dish and it just sucks in, and I was like, "What the like?"
Is this coconut?
Yeah,
Must be basmati.
Is he using his palate through his nose? Like, what is happening here? Okay, so now we're gonna go into Fright Done Right. Sam, did you have anything for Fright Done Right?
Yeah, I just had a comment about we talked about the Hall of Mirrors scene and that it was, besides the giant Band-Aid, like it was actually pretty well done. But I kind of compared it to the movie Us.
Oh, okay,
And I said how much better it was but how ultimately I liked the scene, but I found it really creepy in Us. So that was kind of what I said. I was like, it could have probably been better. Like it had the weird 3 scenes next to each other of the same thing happening.
Yeah.
And I know that's the reflection and stuff, but I thought it was okay, but I really liked the one in Us.
Cool. Okay, Mike?
I'm going to piggyback on the idea of that Hall of Mirrors. I think that Watcher in the Woods did a much better job of that. I haven't seen that movie for years, so maybe if I rewatch it, I won't enjoy it. But watching that movie as a kid, that was the scene that haunted me for years afterwards, was the Hall of Mirrors. And every time I go to the Stampede into the funhouse glass maze, it just creeped me out because of that movie.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about just how creepy they are in anyways, because I don't even like going, I don't like having my kids go through them by themselves. I'm always worried there's going to be some weirdo in there.
Yeah.
For me, I'd say probably, and I mentioned this, is the idea of someone escaping from an asylum. And I guess Halloween did that better than this.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
He skulks around. He stalks his prey. This one, Dr. Giggles is right there. They want you to know he's there, and he hacks him up right in front of you, whereas Halloween does a better job of building that tension throughout the film.
Yeah.
This one, I wouldn't say there was a lot of tension.
No.
It's pretty much just, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to go into our bonus features. And Sam, what did you have for your first 2 bonus features?
I had the house that belonged to Dr. Giggles was not actually a real house, but it was a prop that was set up into a park. Oh. The crew built it instead of using a real home so that they could blow it up towards the end of the film.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Always like when something gets blown up. And then I had Jennifer Aniston actually audition for the role of Jennifer.
Oh. I also have Ashley Judd did as well.
Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah, I only saw Jennifer Aniston.
I have to create the bizarre POV shot through the mouth of one of the characters. The oversized mouth prop was constructed for the camera to fit into from behind to match the size of the mouth. An oversized tongue depressor was created for actor Larry Drake to use.
That explains it then.
Yeah. Yes. Frequently on lists of unintentionally funny movies, despite the fact that it was written specifically to be funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. that is funny.
Yeah.
Mike, did you have a couple?
So to segue from that one, Manny Cotto originally envisioned the film as a more serious story about a serial killer, but the studio, however, wanted it to be wackier and funnier and ruined it, I would say. I think it could have been good. Like a psychotic doctor could have been a great movie, but
yeah.
And then on the possible other casting, Ted Danson apparently was considered for the titular role of Dr. Giggles.
That's crazy.
No.
No, I can't see that at all.
No. Sam, did you have any others?
I just had that the body count is pretty high for a horror movie at 17 people, 17 victims. So that's pretty high compared to some that we've seen. And then the tagline I just wrote down as, sorry, the doctor is insane. In ... sane is the tagline. So
that's amazing.
It's not.
I had one that's not really research. Oh, it's kind of a goof. When Dr. Giggles overhears the answering machine, Harper identifies himself as Chief Harper. When Tom Campbell plays the message moments later, Harper identifies himself as Sheriff Harper.
Oh.
And also, when the 2 officers first enter Dr. Giggles' house, Officer Reitz grabs a piece of cloth that got snagged on the wall. And when he reads it with the flashlight, it reads a wood. It is in big, blurry black letters. Later on in the film, when the officer Reitz is at the police station looking up files on the computer, he pulls out the cloth and the letters are different. They still read a wood, but are now clearer, and there is more writing on the cloth as well.
Oh, weird.
So there's a couple of things that they missed.
That's a weird production design mistake.
That's super weird and specific.
Right. Mike?
I had the financial information. The budget was $7 million and the box office was 8.4. So did not do well. No. And international titles weren't great for this one. Just Brazil, Dr. Laughs, The Death Specialist.
Death Specialist.
And then Mexico called it Assassin Doctor.
I want to see that movie instead.
So now we're going to go into our watchability scale, and we'll start with Mike. What would you give this out of 10?
The unique killings and the gore effects save it from being a 1. This was one of those like cult movies I know people talked about, and it's like, oh, you got to see Dr. Giggles. It was a name that had always been out there, but in this day and age, I just don't think it's worth looking for. So I'm giving it a 2.
All right. Sam?
I would say the same. I was like, it's not a 1 just based on some of the effects and the gore itself and the unique deaths, but it's definitely, I would not recommend this to anyone. So it's a 2 for me.
I'm going to give it a 4. I thought it was kind of fun. I think if you stumble across it, you might enjoy it, especially if you watch it with some buddies and stuff like that. You can laugh about it. I wouldn't say go in thinking that you're going to get scared. Wouldn't say go in thinking that you're going to see a beautiful piece of cinema, because
Absolutely not.
it is in all respects a junky film.
Yeah.
It's paced bad. There's holes in the script. The acting's not great. So there are definitely things, but it spoke to me. So maybe it's something about doctors in my own mind. But in any case, I gave it a 4 out of 10. And so with that, thank you very much for listening to us. Remember to follow us on Instagram. We are at ScreamStreamPod. Stop by our website, screamstreams.com, where we have information about our episodes, descriptions of our categories, links to our research, our watchability scale, and the page where you can recommend movies you want us to discuss. Please rate, comment on, and subscribe to our show on any of the platforms where you get your podcasts. Until next time, this has been Chad and
Mike
and
Sam.
Scare you later.